Hey there guys, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of RobaFett. I do want to apologize to you guys. I haven't been able to upload video in a while. Some of it's been my fault, some of it hasn't, but basically I really do apologize. You know, sometimes life just gets crazy, and you know, something that you guys can do to really help that is every time I upload a video, if you really do want to support my channel, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more. The more support I get on the channel, the more videos I'm able to make, all that good stuff. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the video for today. So there's just been so many current events, so many things happening, and I want to do videos on all of them. Unfortunately, I don't have all this time to make all those videos, so I just thought I would make something that I've just been thinking about for a while now. That way it's gonna be easier for me. I can just go ahead and just talk about it. And this is something that I think is a bit of a double-edged sword, but my big question, and this is something that you know, to think about as well, are video games getting out of hand? Are they getting too technical? Are they starting to focus too much on looking good? Are they trying to focus too much on being visually impressive? And are they kind of compromising gameplay a little bit, which is the most important thing with a game, honestly? I mean, I think games like Minecraft and Breath of the Wild have proven that. You know, Breath of the Wild has a very cartoony look. I'm sure it was a lot easier for Nintendo to focus more on the content of the game because they weren't so worried about everything looking as realistic as possible and everything looking as technical as we're used to, but also having it be acceptable. I mean, I honestly, I have no problems playing that game. To me, it doesn't bother me because the gameplay is so fun. Games like Minecraft, like I said as well, it's all about the content. It's, I mean, honestly, you are a block character in that. That is in no way a game that you would think would be popular these days, but it is, and that's just because of the content of the game. But I think things have gotten away from that a little bit. I think things are going into a direction of, you know, and I used to think about this a lot when I was younger. I'd be like, wow, you know, I bet one day, you know, video games are going to look just like movies, you know, and that was a cool thought to me. But now as I've, you know, as things have gone on and I've seen, you know, what these video games that look so visually impressive and stuff require, I honestly don't want that. I mean, I already have movies. Movies are fun. Movies are cool. And I don't honestly, video games look fine to me now. They look fine. I don't think they need to look any better. I really don't. I think video games are really great the way they look. They don't have to look real. They look fine just the way they are. Grand Theft Auto 5 is such an old game, but it's held up so well. It looks fine to me. It doesn't need to look any better than that. Unfortunately, I think there's so many companies still trying to make things look better and better and better, and that requires more and more and more time, more and more employees, more and more money, and it's getting to the point to where video games have to sell outrageous amounts of copies and DLC and microtransactions out the wazoo, like a freaking mobile game that you get for free, except for you paid the $60 for it. They have to do all those things just to be successful, and I really, really hate that. And a good example of this, I think, I just this week picked up Mass Effect and Andromeda. And I was really tempted to make a video just about that. I was so angry, like after 3 hours of playing it, because it's just the animations are laughable. When your character's walking around, I feel like he looks like he's like drunk. It can be hard to understand what's going on half the time. The combat's fun, but also kind of weird. I don't know. I'm trying to spend more and more time with the game. The longer I'm spending with it, the more problems I'm starting to see with this game. And for a game that was in 5 years of development that we know about, and what most people don't know is there's 2 years of development that you don't know about. That's talking about 7 years there of development on this game. It still came out like this, and you know, you could tell they were trying to go for the visually stunning thing. They were trying to make it look great. Somewhere it fell short. They ran out of time, and they were just trying to do too much. And you got to ask yourself, you know, why is it that you can go back and play Mass Effect 2, and they're just as good, if not they're better. They're better than this game, honestly. They are. They spent more time on the story. You know, the story in this game has just not been compelling so far at all. I can't even talk to my teammates for some reason. I mean, I'm sure there's like designated times for you to talk to them, but I like in these games that BioWare makes, I'm used to just being able to talk to my party members whenever. You can't do that. However, I don't want to dwell too long on Mass Effect. I just want to use it as a quick example of how when you get away from making the game actually fun and make sense, and you compromise that for wanting things to look a certain way, which they didn't even do, and they ran out of time. I mean, think about 5 years of development. They had to spend so much time on all this stuff. And Mass Effect Andromeda, really, it isn't the kind of game that I was talking about a second ago where they're trying to almost make it look realistic. Could you imagine, and this is what I want to talk about in this video, the problem I see coming up is, could you just imagine how long it would take to make a game like Skyrim, and they're trying to make it look realistic? How long that would take, and how many people it would take on the team, how many copies they would have to sell. And this is why so many people say, well, video gaming is in trouble. You know, app gaming is going to take over and all that stuff. And while I don't really want to get into that conversation, what I do want to say is that I do see this as a problem. This is definitely not a good thing that, you know, game developers seem to think that they need to just keep, you know, everything needs to look better than the last game, and instead of play better than the last game. They're more worried about pumping out these exhausted franchises than making anything new and coming up with any new ideas. And that's why you have Call of Duties out the wazoo. They're already talking about the next Call of Duty game, which they're wanting to go back to World War II, which, you know, those were really fun games back in the day when it was based in World War II. But it also just shows me that they're running out of ideas. You know, I'm sure pretty soon we'll start hearing about the next Assassin's Creed title, and it just goes on and on and on and on. All these games, they milk them dry till they're no good anymore. Then they move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and, you know, so on and so forth. The movie industry is doing the same thing with reboots. So what would be the answer to this? Well, I think the answer would be simple. Just don't make it complicated. Don't make it complicated, stupid. Just simplify it. You know, go back to your roots and look at what worked. You know, we can make games that look like Grand Theft Auto 5 and play even better. You know, go into those aspects of the game. You know, what mechanics can you add that are better, rather than spending all this time trying to make everything look ultra realistic, and come up with some new ideas. You know, if you get up and you do the same thing every day forever, even if it has little variances, you know, you get tired of it eventually, and that's just what's happening with the Call of Duty franchise. And games like that just get pumped out, you know, yearly, if not every 2 years. We got another one, you know, here it is. And I'm not saying that spending a long time in development is wrong, but as long as they're doing it for the right reasons, and it doesn't come out looking like Mass Effect Andromeda, where things still aren't finished because they being too ambitious with it, and you know, it came down to money. You know, they had to get it out because they had to make their, you know, EA had to make their investors happy. But anyway, guys, I don't want to ramble on forever, so I want to know what you think about this down in the comment box below. What do you think? Do you think that, you know, video games are just, you know, maybe spiraling out of control a little bit? Where do you think the gaming industry is headed? I don't know. Give me a prediction. Where do you think it's going to be in the next couple years? I'd really like to hear that from you guys. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you liked today's video, well, you can hit that like button. That would always help me out. And if you're new around here, if you haven't already, don't forget to blast that subscribe button. And as always, guys, stay awesome, stay beautiful, keep those Punisher hats on, and I'll see you later.